right, welcome to lesson 1 of Movement Matters, a forced perspective of New Testament restoration. Okay, now that title, a forced perspective, that's something that I kind of selected tongue-in-cheek because the focus of the lesson series are going to be of the forces of the restoration movement. I want us to take a forced perspective. Get it? Feeling it? I know that you are. Okay, so what I want to do with each of these video introductions is just be able to give you a broad concept of what we're trying to work through within the content for this lesson. And lesson number 1 in Movement Matters is the force of framing. And I'm a visual aids guy, so I will show you is that I like to take photography and have a picture that I took right here. It was a picture of my wife and my daughter and I actually am such a geek, camera geek, I have a infrared remote so that I can take our own picture. So I set it up on a tripod, I took the picture, and it was fine. I mean, it was a good picture. My wife and daughter looked beautiful. I looked okay. It was good. But the thing was that there were things in the background that I just didn't want in the picture. So what I did was I cropped it. Now, that's the thing about a frame, and that's why I want to talk about the force of framing in this lesson, because have you thought about what the purpose of a frame is? What a frame is supposed to do is it's supposed to take your eye line and bring it in toward what you want people to see. That's the point of framing, right? Okay, but sometimes when framing, our perspective is too broad. So if I took the picture of my wife and daughter, but if I took it just in front of a massive wall that had nothing beautiful about it, and it was just spanned out wide, it wouldn't have the focus of my family, which is what I wanted the picture of. Conversely, if I took my picture and I cropped it in just on my ugly mug right here, if I just wanted to show my face, that would be too narrow a perspective of framing. So what we're always looking to do in pictures, but also other places in life, is we want to gain the right focus. So between the broad and the narrow is that ideal place of focus. I use this to introduce because as we talk about the history of the Restoration movement, what we're going to see is that there are different perspectives that people have brought to the table. Every historian has their own perspective that they bring to the task. And I'm not going to lie to you, in Movement Matters, that is my own as well too. So you're going to have to interpret and see my perspective. But what we're looking to do is develop a healthy frame of the story, acknowledging that we do frame the conversation, but try to do it in such a way that it makes good focus. And I will tell you, the focus in this lesson, the focus for us, needs to be on the essential aspect of the Restoration movement, and that is ultimately on the New Testament. And why is the New Testament significant? It's because it contains the story of Jesus, the life-changing gospel that will transform the entire world. So any story that we tell, even if it's about the Restoration movement, can't get too focused on individuals or historical events or certain just minutia of argumentation, but it must be on Jesus. Jesus is the focus of the story of the New Testament, and therefore, Jesus is the focus of the Restoration movement. So this is the force of framing. I hope that through the lecture, through the application article, by going through this aspect of the curriculum, you can open up and say that this is a perspective of a story, but it's the perspective of the New Testament, and that is what is important as we examine and explore all aspects of this movement. Enjoy lesson number 1.